Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde. Welcome to EFA169 on this Sunday, September 7th. On this windy Sunday, September 7th. When and why do I eat OMAD? And a lot of people ask me that question, right? When do you eat and how much do you eat and that kind of stuff. And I'm going to get into the specifics of when and why. First of all, why? Why do I eat OMAD? Because I balance myself better. And I've explained this on many podcasts, and anybody that listens to understand. I did not choose OMAD. OMAD chose me. I basically progressed to OMAD where I felt nutrient dense was fulfilling. I met all my components. I wasn't hungry. So I wasn't filling myself just for the sake of filling myself. And also, I don't follow timelines. Oh, it's 8 o'clock, gotta eat breakfast. Or it's 12 noon, gotta have lunch. And right, I don't do that. That's gone out of my mind. That addiction is gone. And I fill myself with water, right? And I've talked about this before. Sparkling water is ambient water, whichever. My apple cider vinegar water, creatine water, etc. And the reason why I do that, because the most time you're not even hungry. You're truly not hungry. It's just your system processing itself. And therefore, you fill yourself with water, your black coffees, your teas, and that kind of stuff. You are not hungry. So OMAD chose me. When do I eat OMAD? I choose my hours of between 5 and 7 at night. That works for me. You need to find out what works for you. So I chose that time period at night because that's when I ate the most. When I found myself in my lifestyle, when I was always numbing, I always had my breakfast, I always had my lunch, I always had my dinner, but I would eat a lot at night, snacking and that kind of stuff, or extras in the evening, right? So, and also during the day, when I get up in the morning, I realized I did not need to eat right away, right? So I start filling myself up right away. The first thing in my body as I get up, I have my waters. They're always ready. My apple cider vinegar, creatine, and salt waters all in one. I get that into my body right away. And I'm talking about, there's a liter that's gone before I'm even ready to move around because I just have it with me, right? I take my shower, all that stuff, right? So I fill myself with water throughout the day or my black coffees. I actually don't even have my black coffee sometimes till like 12 noonish. I do my waters. I do all my waters in the morning. And I often do not even have a coffee. Will I have a coffee if I want to? Absolutely. But for the most part now, I don't even have my coffees until 12 noonish. After 12 noonish, I should say. Sometimes it's not even until 2 o'clock in the afternoon because I tend to push my window towards the later part of the day because that fulfills me. Here's an example on why OMAD. I will do a big meal. Like yesterday, I did a big meal. Tomorrow night, I'm going to go to a restaurant, my daughter's birthday, and that kind of stuff, which is today, but COVID stuff and labor stuff and all that stuff. So we're going to go to a restaurant tomorrow. I know that when I go out to those kind of things and when I have those big meals or restaurant meals and so forth, I will shoot up 5 pounds, just like that. Like bada boom, bada bing, I just gained 5 pounds. I know that. So I balance myself out with OMAD naturally. The next day I'm not hungry, but what I do notice when I eat a lot of different types of meals at places, that hunger feeling comes back, right? That's water. Water comes into my body, the black coffee comes into my body, I re-regulate myself, I rebalance myself. And people ask me like the weight loss. The weight loss is only a key component of this. It's not about the weight loss, why I'm doing this. The weight loss is a benefit, right? An absolute benefit. With the weight loss, everything else follows. Your training, your lifestyle, your business, your focus, all that comes naturally with the weight loss. But what I wanted to do is the health, right? Why do we work so hard? I tell my business friends all the time, why do we work so hard? Why do we do what we do? And therefore, when I started looking at that and the health benefits of living a nomad lifestyle and living an intermittent fasting lifestyle or a calorie restriction lifestyle or a low carb, high good fat lifestyle, all those lifestyle, paleo lifestyle, ketosis type meals and so forth, there was a lot of health benefits to it. And statistically, data, research, everything they know for a fact that most diseases and deaths on this earth is created by nutrition. And here's the sad part. The government knows about it. The medical field knows about it. Everybody in the world that puts any freaking knowledge into their brain know that it's all tied to nutrition, environment, what you're subjected to, what you're consuming. And they can go as far back, like 10 years old, 20 years old, and they can see the conditions developing. They can see the fat lining. They can see everything. When there was an exhibit a long time ago that went around, and it was the one with the bodies and all that. And they showed bodies, and all the internal bodies, and I can't remember that podcast, but I still remember that when I went and saw that, and how amazed I was how obesity starts young in the body. And if you follow any podcasts out there, any data, any research, they know for a fact all these diseases in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s that you prematurely die of or rot of or subjected to a hospital bed and so forth, part of the system. They know that it starts in your, like as young as your teens. That whole lining in the hearts and the arteries and the lungs and the livers, they know for a fact that starts that young. And by the time you reach your 40s, 50s, and 60s, that's when all the diseases come, right? So that's why I do what I do, right? Because why do we work so hard? Those that listen to understand, and I say this to my business peers all the time, and those that run life and are involved with their families, and you work so hard, you put your government job, you're going to put 30, 35 years, 25 years, depending in those jobs, and then you die at 56 of cancer. Are you kidding me right now, right? And how many people know that? Right before pension, right close to pension, around the frame of pension, they pass away of some illness that was related to nutrition, environment, and so forth. So that's why I do OMAD. I'm glad that OMAD found me. I chose to do OMAD in the evening because that fulfills me, right? So that was my window, and I know that it rebalances me. If I have a big meal, I will have I feast all the time, but I'm talking a meal like an out of the ordinary type meal, like not as nutrient dense as I usually do. If I go to a restaurant, that kind of stuff, I'm gonna eat their sauces, that kind of stuff, which a lot of them put sugars and their own ingredients for their own flavoring. I know when I do that, I will shoot up 5 pounds. This is what I do, and I just rebalance myself. And that's why you'll see me at restaurants a lot. You'll see me drinking my wines and so forth, right? It's because I've learned how to balance myself. I've learned to listen to my body and not just listen to the clock or the marketing or the pressures, right? How many of your doctors out there actually talk about nutrition with you? When you go to your doctor, do they start breaking down your nutrition, what you eat, how you eat, what you consume, and all that stuff? No, they don't, right? That's why you have to take control of your life. You have to figure out what is best for you. What are your timelines? So I, GuyPublicFigure, eat OMAD between 5 and 7 p.m. at night. I know that it cleans me up internally, physically, mentally, healthily, everything, right? So that, what I do between 5 and 7 at night, I have that meal window around that time frame because that, for me, fulfills me 24 hours, no problem, just like that, no problem. And today I'm gonna have 2 meals a day. Yesterday I had 2 meals a day, right? So, and then I'm gonna go 5, 6, 7 days, 1 meal a day. I learned to just balance myself out based on my lifestyle, based on what fulfills me and what makes me feel good. Because internally, I know it's working. GuyPublicFigure, EFA169.